I'm here with Sam Smith of Interactive Meeting Technology at IBTM World in Barcelona 2015. Sam, welcome to the video corner of the Meeting Design Institute.
Thank you, Martin. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's good to have you, and you are, I would say, almost the guru of interaction and technology. What brought you to this position? Why are you doing this?
Yeah, so for me, I wake up every morning because I'm against stuffing people in chairs and rows for hours on end to listen to boring speakers talk all the time. I think our audiences are too smart, they're too educated, and we should be able to Google the audience and really tap into all their insights and knowledge and create conversations around content, conversations around ideas.
Why is that important? Why is conversations at a conference important? Because you have the speaker there and you can listen to your content being brought to you.
Yep. Well, attendees, in John Medina's Brain Rules, he said people stop paying attention after 10 minutes. So, and the average conference has a schedule where you're sitting there in the chair listening for 4 to 6 hours. If you look at the content, education content, it's mostly listening for 4 to 6 hours. And so that right there, if people are only paying attention for about 10 minutes of that time, or say 40 or 50 minutes of that time, you're wasting all the rest of that time. So if we can figure out how to create conversations, people learn more and retain more by having conversations and verbalizing things or internalizing it or drawing it or creating it, right? In the different formats of things you can do, they retain more in those formats, and so that's what we want to do.
All right, that sounds like a good objective to reach. And how do you do that? What kind of tools and services do you apply to make that happen?
Yep. So we always try to look at what are the objectives of the event, right? And then we try to create experiences that help match those objectives. But one of the things that I think is important, we look at the behavior profile of people, right? Are they collectors? Are they creators? Are they critiquers? Are they passive, right? And then some of that was originally created in Groundswell, and we've adapted some of that stuff for our own needs. And what we try to do is design experiences that appeal to all of those different attendee types, because if we can do that, right, then you're going to allow all of your attendees to have fun. But that requires some folks to agree that you're never going to have an activity that appeals to 100% of the people, right? And some folks struggle with that. But if we can get them to move beyond that, you can create lots of different types of interesting experiences.
Okay. So how does it look for me as a participant? What do I see? What happens?
Yep. So on the participant side, one of the things we're looking at is inside of your behavior type, what's the experience we want to create, and how easy is it for you to participate? Can you just walk up to, say, a bar of some sort and just start participating? Or do you need to download, install, and log in something? And sometimes those are that's okay. But we don't want to have too many barriers to participation, because we find the more barriers that we create, the more likely people are to say, let's move on to the next thing. Right, and so we try to make it as convenient as possible in that way. Does that help, or do we?
Absolutely. And to end this interview, what is your top, let's say, your best tip for meeting designers or meeting organizers to make this happen?
Yeah, so we recently put out a webinar on how to overcome the common objections to audience engagement, to interaction in events. So my first recommendation to folks that are out there thinking about doing this and watching this video and saying, what can I do? What's the one thing? My recommendation is to look at your educational content and look at how much of that is people presenting, and I would challenge you to add 40 to 50 minutes of more interaction time into that. So that could be discussion, that could be more Q&A, it could be a change of format, right? And it's up to you to decide what that would be. But if you can add 40 to 50 minutes into a 4 to 6 hour content day, you're going to make a small change to your event, but it's going to have a huge impact.
And then finally, what is the coolest thing in the services that you provide?
Yeah, the coolest thing, thanks for asking. So we've recently just launched an audience engagement platform. It's called SocialPoint Audience Engagement Platform. You can learn more about it at socialpoint.io. And what we've done is we've taken audience response, social media displays, touch screens, trivia games, and digital signage, and put it all together so people can, as they plan out and design these experiences and say, this is what I want to do, we have the technology tools there to support them so they can create the experiences and get the data that they want or get the insights that they're trying to collect from the audience.
Wonderful. Thanks for sharing this, Sam. And I would say safe travels.
Thank you.
Good luck and lots of business.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be with you, and thanks for having me today.
Super, super.